Hello guys, I think we're alive. Hello guys. Alright, day 2 back into Zbrush. So this morning, I sculpted this did a little sketch of a sci-fi helmet. And I did a little bit of design drawing on top. If you guys watched my previous tutorials and my other streams, I like to have a solid direction in mind when I work on my sculpts. And drawing is one of the ways to do it, to kind of very quickly outline the direction you want to go for. So this is where I am on the left, and this is where we're taking it. So a little bit more refined, and kind of gives me an idea of where I'm going with it. Alright, so I'm gonna move this to my other screen, and we're gonna start working on it. I apologize in advance for any kind of audio issues. I had to upgrade my webcam to a different brand because the previous, the Microsoft one, kept breaking on me. So now I'm on Logitech C920, and the audio quality isn't quite satisfactory. I ordered a clip-on mic, and it should come in the mail this week, but for now I'm just trying to talk really clearly and also without the fan, so I'm like sweating here.
You really sound fine.
Good. And we also have Tom.
Hey! Can I just say that sci-fi helmet might be one of the best sci-fi helmets I've ever seen?
No, you didn't. And that would be a lie. Because there's...
I like that you got like this rubbery thing with like the friction pins holding it on.
Yeah.
On the bottom. It looks like a piece of rubber that's like been molded to fit that, but then those little pins hold it in place.
Cool. Yeah, the idea was kind of like maybe these things are like sensors or something that kind of lets you see, because he doesn't particularly have a visor. Because this thing, I imagine, would be opaque and metallic. Alright, so this little sketch was great and a great exercise, because I've learned new things and kind of starting to integrate the new Zbrush tools into my workflow. As you can see, I started with just a very loose kind of sphere sculpt, and then I use move and the clay tubes to kind of design the thing on top. But then what I do after is using new booleans, I basically extracted certain parts into separate tools, and here I can clean them up and do all that awesome stuff, add them physical thickness, but then when I come back here, all I need to do is to append them back, and they will pop back in place exactly where they belong, and I don't need to kind of mess with the scale or nudge them left or right like you would previously. Previously, what you would do for something like this, let's start with this top helmet piece. You probably remember, like, you would grab like topology tools. There's too many subdivisions. Let's just delete lower. And you would start, you know, kind of retopologizing it, and then you would have topology that you then add thickness to and all that fun stuff. But a lot of times you end up kind of nudging it all back in place and making sure that the thickness is uniform, and it was just tedious in my opinion. But now let me demonstrate what I like to do. So, if I remember what I like to do, because I haven't worked on this since the morning.
Yeah, it's only been like 4 months since you did ZBrush work.
Well, yeah, and also the new tools are new tools. So let's duplicate this guy just for fun. I don't think I need. Do I need that many subdivision levels? I mean, this is fine. Okay, so append a box, and for the time being, we can hide my other subtools. So this box has some subdivisions, which is cool. Let's move it in place where, roughly in the area where the part is that I care about. And I'm gonna set it to intersect, and this guy, and enable live booleans. Transparency. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, what I can do is just grab a move brush, and with the move brush start. Actually, I want symmetry. With the move brush, I'm literally just like cropping my model to that part that I need and I care about. And that, to me, this workflow is so much fun. Because previously it was really, I don't know, I wasn't particular. I'm not a particular fan of retopology tools in Zbrush, and using them to model was really tedious. We can also enable dynamic subdivision to kind of make it nice and soft. One thing you'll notice is if you watched yesterday's stream, yesterday I was using vanilla for our 8 interface. After last night's stream, I spent a couple hours updating all my interface to this new to work well with the new tools. So currently I have my main sub palette that pops with one shortcut, where I have all my most commonly used tools. Then I have the secondary sub palette, which is more for stuff that modifies topology, like bevels and then group loops, panel loops. And then I also have the third one, and this guy is more for like closing holes, fixing mesh, to basically like a utilitarian palette that helps me fix any issues that I might have. Alright, so we have this basic topology, but there's still like this part at the bottom which is kind of garbagey. So what I do for that, grab this guy, duplicate it, set it to subtractive, and move it down. And look at how beautiful this is. Pretty beautiful, guys. So that's great. Good start. So the only, like, there's a little bit of issue, however, like you can see the thickness is still not very uniform because this was just a very loose organic sketch. But with the move brush, I can go ahead and make sure that it's nice and uniform. If it's not. And we can switch to different subtools and basically like very nicely adjust stuff. Alright, that's good enough. So allow dynamic subdivision on, make Boolean mesh. And bam, we have a fairly nice nice starting point. Now, obviously, as you can see here, it's not super clean, but from here we can take it further and clean it up quite a bit. I don't like the current polygroup distribution. It's very messy. So outer groups, And I'll probably clean this guy a bit up. So, select lasso. Symmetry is not on.
You definitely think this is better than just retopologizing?
Oh yeah. You'll see in a sec. Actually, like I will be using retopology tools, the Z-remesher. But by hand, like the retopologizing by hand is definitely I'm not gonna use it anymore with a new tool set. Okay, so all right, so great. We have 3 polygroups. What we can do, so from here I use a combination of polish by features, group loops, and then the Dynamesh or Z-remesher. Now let's see what we have. Right now the topology is kind of messed up. So first thing we can do is Dynamesh it and preserve the polygroups. So groups. Actually, yeah, I think by default it preserves polygroups, so I can just press Dynamesh. You can see we have a much cleaner result, maybe a little bit too dense. So let's. Okay, that's pretty good. Polygroups are still here though, so let's do group loops. And with group loops, you can see we have a nice little subdivision, like a bunch of edge loops on where the border was, and it also polishes the shit out of the model. So you can see, like quickly it starts to become a little bit more polished, and now polish by features. And what polish by features does is, wherever it sees the crease, or I believe also the polygroups border, it's kind of like emphasizes those parts while smoothing out the other stuff. It's not bad, but I want more polish, because right now it still feels pretty wobbly. So what I can do, I can either get rid of this maintain form little circle here, and if I run a polish after it, you can see it smoothes it out quite a bit while still maintaining the hard edge, and that's what I want. Now, but what it did, it kind of destroyed a lot of that form here. So maybe, let's see what we can do about this. Increase polygroups, and I could crease this part. So we want to crease here, and maybe crease there. So just go and crease, and it would crease the parts that are hidden. No, let's see if it even does the trick. Not bad, but yeah. Okay, so let's re-enable and run polish by features. We can also run regular polish. Regular polish kind of gets rid of the creased edges quite a bit. Almost forgot. There is also clay polish. So clay polish is kind of weird, interesting thing. It's a different algorithm that they introduced in one of the recent versions, and what it does, it kind of emphasizes peaks and valleys. And if I run it quite a bit, you can see the effect that it does to our mesh. I think in this case I could even just run a bunch of flatten. Oh, let's disable Dynamesh. Another way to clean up the border is with clip curve. Making sure I got a decent angle. Boop. Looking good. That would probably, for this type of for this shape, this is probably the best way to quickly clean it up. Bam. Run quick polish by features again. It's not bad. Another thing that you can do to maintain the edges is kind of just isolate the specific poly group and just run a lot of polish. And it should, for the most part, maintain the border edge, as you can see here. So but there's a risk of running into issues like this where it starts to smooth out too much. So just making sure that I don't overdo it. A little bit inflate helps to kind of bring out this bevel on edge, and then I can do clay polish to kind of pinch it more, or polish by features. Anyway, I think you guys get the idea. A mix of different sets of polish commands, and you can see if you look at our original. Where's our original? This is what it was originally, with a lot of kind of very loose edges and wobbly surface, and now we have something a lot more refined. All right, so back here, now I have all these tools that I use to extract this. If this was production model, I would probably find a way to preserve all these, because I want to work as non-destructively as possible. But right now I'm just having fun, and this is a sketch, so to keep the machine running fast, I'm just deleting all these because I don't need them anymore. I extracted the piece that I needed. So this was one of my, like the piece that I extracted from, and then a piece that I used to cut in. So they both can go. Alright, now we're back to our original. Let's append the new part, and as you can see, it pops right back in place. And all I need to do is just, well, actually, I'm gonna duplicate it just in case. And now I'm going to mask out this part. And kind of just get rid of it, push it into the surface of the helmet so it doesn't get in the way.
Hey, don't forget that alt trick when you're dragging out your mask.
What alt trick?
Hold control to start your mask, let go of control, press alt, and then whatever you were previously going to mask out becomes what you're going to demask.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it'll take me time to get used to all this new stuff. Alright, so you can see very quickly we have a separate part that is nice and clean. Now there is a little bit of an issue here, and that's from my crappy group loops. So how do we clean something like this up? I mean, I wanted to have group loops to add a little bit of like the bevel to the edge, as you can see here. But here we have kind of a troubling part. I don't like the way this looks. Zero mesher could be used to remesh this type of crap.
Use a boolean?
No, actually, so here's the trick. Check this out. So if I grab these two, just these two pieces, right, and then I'm gonna merge this all as one group. So now we have only 3 groups here. What I'm gonna do is go to stroke and frame mesh on polygroups. So basically I'm drawing this curve around this every polygroup. And now if I go to zero mesher, I'm gonna crank up the curve strength, and this will ensure that I'm placing the new edges right on this where the what's the word? Where the polygroup border is. Basically to make sure that the zero mesher doesn't destroy my crisp edges. So crank up the strength, keep groups. Let's try that, and let's run the zero mesher. Look at this. And I can enable dynamic, and it's pretty damn clean. And we also still have our polygroups, so now what I can do is crease by polygroups, and so wonder if there's a way to kind of maybe what I'm gonna do. Also, is my symmetry on? Yeah, it's my symmetry is on. I'm gonna mask this guy because that's where we want kind of separation, and Control W to polygroup just the selected border. And let's do the same for this part. Actually, let's select a little bit more. Control W. And then Control W. Do we need any sharp edges anywhere else? I don't think so. Okay, so now let's do crease polygroups again, and now we have 1, 2, 3 beautiful creases. So now in theory, just in theory, if I polish by features, look at this shit. Did want me to repeat it? Did you see this? It gives me really crisp hard surface edge. Like crisp, like crispies.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
Yeah, I'm having to watch with everybody else on the stream because you won't share your screen on up here.
Oh. Oh. Do we have viewers?
Oh yeah.
Sweet. All right. Zbrush. Can set the exact number of stuff. Oh, thank you, God, I'm gonna butcher your name, man. I'm bad with French names. How do you say Jean Pascal? Is it
Maybe Jean
Jean?
Pascal.
John? John? Hello from Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Hi from Canada. Um,
Hi from Trumpland.
How to where? Hi from where? So, oh, another neat thing that they added, I don't remember when, it might have been just in this version or version before this, is creasing now has different creasing levels. There's 15 creasing levels, which is kind of cool. So, but what it does is, note if I'm at crease level 15 and I subdivide my mesh, you can see it kind of maintains the creasing no matter what. But if I set my crease level to something more gentle, like 2, and I start dividing, you can see the edges start to get like a really nice soft effect on them. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Anyway, so as you can see, we have like, this is as clean as this mesh could possibly be. A little bit high on subdivision levels, so I'm just gonna get rid of it and keep it this way. Dynamic, yeah, I'll stick to dynamic because I want to be able to, you know, go ahead and do some large scale changes if I need to. All right. So we have this part. It makes me happy how clean it is. I might do something similar as what I have here, which is basically what I've done is I did the group loops and then I inflated just the part that sticks out. So let me show you. So we divide it and then mask it. Now we can do a little bit of a touch of inflate and then polish, and you can see it adds like a nice little edge to it, just so it's not strictly flat, and there's some highlights for the eye to catch. All right, so where's my Photoshop sketch so I know what's going on next? All right, let's move on to the other part, and I'm not gonna bore you guys with like me trying to perfect a single piece. So here I want to extract this kind of color. It's a pretty big part, so I want to separate it out. So save it. Now that I think about it, because the booleans are non-destructive, I don't really need to duplicate it over, because it's going to be like, I'm not going to destroy it, so I'm just going to append a box. Intersection. Move it in place. I love this method so much. I can even grab some clay buildup. Yeah, so dynamic is on, so it's a little bit doesn't give you an exact representation of where your birds are. It's a little bit confusing. I mean, technically this should do it. I'm gonna be cleaning this mesh quite a bit, but let's see. What if I do something like this, where I mask and then with move. Alright, that's good enough. I can clean up the rest. This guy can probably be dynameshed right away. And let's see what we can do here. First of all, I'll use a box to subtract. Actually, like right now I'm using, there's a better tool. I mean, booleans are nice and shiny, but I can just use clip curve. All right. Mirror and weld is great to force symmetry. And starting to sculpt, and like that's why I went ahead and did my initial sketch, because so I know exactly how this color works and how it all kind of fits together. I don't like figuring design while I'm doing non-design work. I'm still here, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
So, clay tubes, I think I spent too much time in 3D code. They got this brush that is very similar to clay tubes. I like how it's really flat, so you can literally do like a 2D drawing on top of a 3D mesh to kind of figure out the shapes and how they relate to each other. So I've been using a lot of clay tubes today. And what I like about this is, unlike clay buildup, it doesn't build up like this, where you can start getting into a very wobbly surface. The depth is always consistent, and that's cool. I think that's cool. Okay, so I have a basic shaping. Maybe I'll do something along the lines of this. Scale it in, give it a little bit of a character. Alright, so two things. First of all, I want this color thickness to be uniform, and then I also want a clean topology. But before I zero mesh it, let's make sure that the thickness is as uniform as possible. So how do we do this? I could potentially use booleans, or I can manually kind of do this type of stuff. Boolean actually might be not a bad way to do this. But first I need to fill this entire space somehow in order to do it properly. So what I might do is kind of just pull it out. And I'm making sure to do it in orthographic mode, like in top-down view, to avoid any kind of pulling in the wrong direction. Alright, now let's append a cube. Should I use a cube or a cylinder? Maybe cylinder.
That's going to get you closer to where you want to be anyway.
Yeah, okay, so subtract. Move. All right. Oh, this is going to be great. Alright, so with move brush, with X symmetry on, let's see what we can do. You know, I've screwed up. I shouldn't have had these subdivisions. Well, what I can quickly do is just in Zmodeler delete a bunch of edge loops. I mean, I could technically just redo this, but I'm lazy, so I'll just click a bunch of times. There you go. And what I'm also gonna do, crease it, set it to like 80 crease. So this way, if I enable dynamic subdivision, I still have my shape, but the round parts of the cylinder are round and not faceted. One trick that I like to use with these new booleans is, you can see I always enable allow click to solo, and what it lets me do is when I have this invisible subtractive cylinder selected, I just tap on empty area and it isolates it and makes it visible for me. So this way I can always see what's the state of my boolean when I need to, and then I can exit the isolation mode to see everything at once. Alright, as you can see, we got pretty clean geometry here. Maybe I'll go to Zmodeler and add one loop just so I can have a little bit more. Okay, insert. Nah, not 3. Single loop. Somewhere around here. Now I can do a little bit more with this object. Awesome. All right, let's apply. Actually, I don't need to apply just yet. What I can do is I can zero mesh it, and because these booleans are all live, I'll just see the result update. All right, zero mesher. Wait, not yet. All right, now zero mesher. Do I even have it here? Probably should. All right, geometry. So what do we need? We don't need anything. We just need to get a cleaner topology. All right. Pretty clean. So another thing that I want to do is this kind of the top lip of that collar. I'm gonna, with the clip curve, I'm gonna enable polygroup, and what this will do is whenever I clip something, it will create a polygroup. This way I'll be able to do all sorts of edge effects, and also select that top part easily. Alright, that's great. Let's do group loops. Polish by features. Alright. So next, I want this collar to have this kind of the piping embedded into it, which is weird, but that's what I want to have. So what typically you would do is like maybe go curve tube snap, or what is it called? Curve tube snap? Yeah, it's actually called exactly that. And yeah, start just basically draw a curve on top. I was gonna use a frame mesh feature, but this shape is so simple that I don't really need to. Okay, so and the stroke, let's disable. It is disabled. Why then? Whenever I pull on this end, the other end gets undone. That's annoying. Whatever. So what?
It's just trimming the mustache.
Okay, so let's split. Split hidden. So this way I have this thing as a separate thing. And now I still have this curve over here, so what I can do is create a second one. God damn it. Let's delete the curve. Ah, too many polygroups. Too little time. Okay. Subtool. Hide this guy. Oh, I guess I only have one curve. Alright, I guess I'm good. Alright. So I want 2 copies of this curve. First copy is going to be our cutter, and second one is going to be our adder. Whatever that means. So here's our cutter. And another thing is my cylinder that I have, I only wanted to affect my my main part. I don't want it to affect my tubes. So here we go. Now this guy, set it to, no, want it to be dynamic. So you can see we have a really nice little extrusion using that curve. And with Move Brush I can get rid of these little artifacts that I have. Hopefully. Hopefully, no. So the way to do it probably, I discovered a little command that I had no idea existed. There's delete by symmetry, and what it does is it deletes half of your geometry, and then you can kind of just what the hell, extend this side over a bit. And then mirror and weld. Whoa. LSIM is on. Why is it mirroring here? Let's get rid of. There you go. That's what I want. Mirror and weld, and we have a perfect seamless tubing. Now, using large move, we can adjust its placement. And the trick here is, at least what I want, is to have a very nice uniform thickness, which I'm working towards. And you can always do polish by features to soften this tube out in case if I mess something up.
You know, one of the things that the one of the presenters did that I thought was really interesting, the example that he used was the button on the watch, but which wasn't a really good example for, you know, something massive like how you would imagine using it in the real world. But basically, like if you were laying out a profile in Modo or something, and then using that to bend into that position so that you actually get the uniform thickness based on that base item.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to tweak anything because it's already set up to be based on that singular profile.
Yep. Okay, so I'm getting where I want to be. Where is it? Okay, so just gotta adjust this guy a bit. So that's pretty freaking good. Now, we don't need this guy. This guy didn't work out. But this dude, I'm gonna duplicate him. And you can see I have pipe that's inside of this groove that we cut out. But I want it to be slightly thinner. And let's actually move it in a bit. Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so now next step is, man, it's been an hour already. I need to hurry. Okay, so I want a nice crease here, and what I actually might do is use booleans. Append a nice little cube, and then let's see. Topology is good enough. Let's enable dynamic, and let's crank it up a bit. Why did it do that? No. I don't want it to affect the... I'm still kind of confused on how this thing's supposed to work, so I don't want it to affect the pipe, I only want it to affect the main part.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of layer adjustments in Photoshop.
So what, do I move it up?
Yeah, the thing that you want affected should be at the top.
Okay, yeah, I think that worked. Yeah, good. Okay, this is pretty hot. Now, this pipe thing, I'm going to duplicate this, move it up, and then here I'll replace it with this cylinder. So the part that I don't like is a lot of times the scale goes wonk wonk, and there's actually a cylinder here, but it's really, really small. So I think what you need to do is, well, I could technically, I guess, mesh to axis, mesh orientation. There's no scale.
Yeah.
So what?
Probably like Alt click on it or something, and it comes in at 100%.
I guess this is not too terrible, but okay. So crease at below 90 degrees. And this would be kind of like a... Oh. my other pipe is getting confused. So I think at this point I would kind of maybe start merging some of my stuff, because so things don't get in the way. Or like applying some of my booleans, but that should be fine. So what do I move it up? What do I, like, well, technically I don't want it to affect anything, so just, there you go. So we have a nice little bendy bend here. Control drag to move it off to the side. Scale it down. Mirror and weld to make it symmetrical. And then I want to have like a little dangly bit here in the center, so what I can do is grab this subtractor, duplicate it, scale it in place. Okay. I do need to connect it to the central piece somehow. I might just really extrude that extrude a piece of geometry out of it. Z-modeler really handy for the small types of modeling operations. So just select these polygroups, faces, and then using QMesh, and then now I'm just gonna do polygroup island. If I can get freaking close enough. There we go. Polygroup island. So I add in a little bit of subdivision here. Too far away. Good enough, I think. Yep. Maybe a little bit too small.
Yeah, or the bottom half is too big.
So, with the nice thing about this new gizmo thingy, go to unmask mesh center. Why does it go? It doesn't go far enough. Weird. Oh well, okay, so you can always just unlock it and relocate it. And in this case, I like to disable allow click to solo, so I can do something like this. Good. So, not a bad start. I would probably add a little bit more, some kind of a detailing on the sides. But for the time being, I think this is ready to be appended to the rest of our mesh. What's this? There we go. So let's... Okay, let's make sure that dynamics subdivisions are on. Okay, this is good. No. Enable dynamic subdivision, then make Boolean mesh. Okay, so, and we end up here with two subtools, one for this thing and one for that thing. I didn't really want to merge these two guys. Yeah, so see what happened? I accidentally merged them, and now it's kind of like a part of that other main mesh. So let's quickly correct that. Okay, so one thing that I've noticed is the subtool tree is kind of acting a little bit wonky, unless I'm in the wrong subtool. Yeah, I am. Never mind. I'm just being funny. Okay, so this guy, we don't want it to merge it with the rest of the body, so I'm just gonna set it as a start, so it will be a separate subtool. Back to this guy, maybe 4 subdivisions, and now let's make Boolean mesh. Did it finish it? I think it did. Yeah, okay, so... And beautiful, we have three different parts. So, alright, let's just merge them together. Merge visible. What did it do? This one? Okay, yes. And now back to our original guy. I hope I'll be able to find it. Like, this is my main complaint, is stuff can get out of hand really quick. I have no idea when... okay, there it is. Okay, so now... we don't need this guy. And now... we... Actually... Wait a second.
It would be really nice if you could have like a lightbox view of your subtools.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of cornered themselves with the design, because it's really, like, you can't really do much about it. The layers are layers, but I don't know if they're trying hard enough. Anyway, append, merged mesh, bam. And now it's time to just grab a large brush and push this stuff in. And we can... This is my design mesh, so it doesn't really matter. In the end, most of it is going to be gone, I imagine. And we can also, maybe to make the process a little bit easier, kind of mask the neck. So push it down. Polish the shit out of it. And you guys can see we quickly went ahead and refined this blobby looking shape to be something more cooler than what it is. So I'm not gonna go through the rest of the assets today. I need to go cook some tacos, and it's important business. But
there's nothing more serious than tacos.
No, absolutely not. But I will continue tomorrow, and yeah, like hopefully there's gonna be more new exciting tricks that I will learn by the time we stream. And stay tuned, and looking forward to see you guys tomorrow. Let me see the chat. Was there any questions?
Nope.
Nope. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being a part of the journey, and see you later.
Take care, everybody.
Cheers. Actually, you know what? Not cheers yet, because I need to. I've lost my shortcut to stop streaming, so I need to manually.
No, this is tradition. This is like the 5 minutes at the end of the stream where Alex tries to remember how to stop.
How to stop? Make it stop, please. All right, I found the button. All right, later, guys.